Howdy folks, and I hope you're all fit and well wherever you are in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel again for another 1/6 scale preview. They seem to be like buses in the past 24 hours, none for days, and then they all arrive at once. But what are we looking at now? Well, in the past few minutes, few hours, Inart have dropped the first pictures of their take on Bill Skarsgard as Pennywise the Dancing Clown from last year's horror smash hit TV show, Welcome to Derry. Now, I don't think the pre-orders are going up for this figure until the 18th, so we may be a day or two ahead on this one. So can't give you a full date of arrival on this figure, or the full cash amount, unfortunately, that they'll be charging for it. However, we do have a raft of photographs to have a look at, so I'm really excited for this one, and can't wait to have a look at what Inart are offering us. But before we dive in, as always, I would like to send a Derry-sized shout out to everybody who supported the channel. And please drop a like and hype on this video, as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to mash that subscribe button and bell notification icon, so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale reviews, news, previews, tours, showcases, and all that other good stuff. So, Pennywise. Now, I've got to admit, I'm a big fan of the movies. I think Chapter 2 dropped off a little bit. I was completely knocked out of my socks though by the TV show. Really pleasantly surprised at the quality, at the twists it took, the different approach. I thought it was absolutely excellent, and if you haven't caught the TV show, I do recommend seeking it out as soon as possible. So let's dive in and have a look at the new Pennywise, the new TV Pennywise. And I've got to say, said this before in the last preview, which is of Inart's T800 endoskeleton, the photography that Inart are producing to go with their pre-orders is absolutely second to none, in my opinion. I think it is really, really stunning. Rather than just giving us a drab background and some basic snaps of the figure itself, they're going all in with some really, really arty shots, and I, for one, really appreciate that. So, this first shot, we've got the building burning in the background. There's fire everywhere, and we're getting to see Pennywise himself. And I've got to say, first impressions look absolutely stunning. I never owned Inart's initial take on Pennywise. Unfortunately, I slept on that one and had to settle for this guy. This is the Hot Toys version over here, which isn't half bad. He's very good. However, having seen some photographs of the Inart version, the first one, I would have to say that's probably the superior one of the two. So if you do have the original out there, count yourself very lucky, but this may very well fill that gap, and I think it looks stunning. So what have we got here? Well, we've got the headshot, obviously, that super cracked forehead. We're seeing the hair for the first time with that unique freaky style with the orange kiss curls going on. We're seeing the all-important ruffs. And the bloodied mouth here. Now, I think we're looking at two interchangeable head sculpts here, but I'm sure they'll let us know as we move along. Not too much blurb, as always with Inart. They tend to be short on words, but big on pictures. But yeah, I think that looks stunning, particularly that really creepy orange glow to those super glassy eyes there. I think it looks fantastic. So, on to the next, and as I say, the use of shadow in these photographs is very, very good indeed from Inart. I have to say, chef's kiss to the photographer here. So once again, those cracks in the forehead look on point. It was argued with this guy here that they weren't quite pronounced enough, and I would agree with them on that, it wasn't. But here, they don't seem to have missed a beat. Now, also as well, what comes out of the release of this figure is, and I have heard this being bandied around in the collecting world, some collectors are a little bit miffed that there are so many characters in IPs to mine for Inart. Why are they repeating one? Which is a good question. It's a valid question. If you have the original, why do you need this one? Why repeat it? But for somebody like me who slept on the original, I think it's great news. It really is. However, I can see those hardcore fans who are wanting the next step in the collection, be it Lord of the Rings or whatever. They're impatient to get their hands on that. So yeah, it is a valid point. But I think this, as a Pennywise figure, looks absolutely stunning. Loving the white makeup on the face here, that red nose, you've got those red lines that run down through the eyes to the corners of the mouth, and then you've got this bloody chin area with the wet look blood paint looking suitably menacing. I'm assuming we're going to be looking at a movable eye system here. He's got his eyes off to one side, which really sets off this this piece. Blood-stained ruffs there, looking absolutely on point. On to the next. Now this is the sort of the pose that it's sort of synonymous with Pennywise, with that underlit look to add to the menace. And this is where I'm thinking we're looking at more than one head sculpt here. No blood spattered paint on the chin here. We've just got that toothy evil grin that we associate with Pennywise. Head bent down, eyes looking up, super menacing, and I've got to say it's on point here. Sculpted hair, so we're not looking at rooted hair here, which I've got to say probably with this this particular hairstyle I think probably is the way to go. But they've got the individual strands picked out there, the colour is right as far as I can tell, and the style overall just looks nailed on. Doesn't look like there's any paint bleed at all going into that hairline, which I think is super important with this particular figure, simply because you're looking at a contrast between white and orange, and you get the paint even slightly off there, and it can really mess the head sculpt up. But I think that looks absolutely excellent. The materials that they've used here look great. Those ruffs look like a really fine weave. You've got the red pom-poms at the front of the tunic itself. Much argued about size, distance, weathering. I'm not going to go there. I'm not quite that anal about this particular figure, but I think it looks great. And as always, the stitch work looks impeccable there in that outfit, from the ruffs on the arms to the stitch work down the front of that abdomen section there. Yeah, I have yet to have any issues with the tailoring of Inart figures, so I don't think it looks like they're gonna break that duck just yet. I think that looks phenomenal. On to the next. Okay, so stand now. I know Inart are tending to move away from the magnetic base here. I can't see any visible means of support here, so I'm going to have to assume it is magnetic. Not my favourite base in the world, the Inart magnetic base, as regulars to the channel will know. I think the magnets are too small. I think moving them is too problematic. And actually accessing the base itself can be a proper ball ache. But if that's altered, I'll be a happy man. But overall, I think the base itself has that air of class that Inart bring to their figures. It's not a huge diorama, but by the same token, it's not too understated. You've got this sort of circular base going on what looks like a metal grill, a rusted metal grill on top. You've got the Pennywise nameplate on the front there. Very simple, but it's just done in such a way which, just as I say, just smacks of class for me. I think they do just look next level, their bases. And the way they set the figures off. Overall, proportions look right for Bill Skarsgard as Pennywise there. You've got the eyeballs around the ankle area there and around the wrist area. It looks weathered, which is what it should be. It shouldn't be pristine. This guy was too clean for my taste. I always meant to get around to weathering him, but never quite did. There is some weathering on here, but it was never really given the depth of weathering that it needed. This Inart figure, however, looks like it has been weathered properly from around the rough area there, on those sort of shoulder sections that puff out. The pantaloon area there looks weathered as well. So yeah, contrast looks great, and then the sort of wraps around the legs as well, those grey wraps look weathered too. So weathering looks excellent. Overall, I can't fault this. I think it looks very impressive indeed. I can see fans of Pennywise jumping at this one straight away. Once again, some lovely photography here. We're getting to see that base a little bit closer up. Yeah, and it is a metal grille. Obviously meant to replicate the entrance or exit to a sewer, probably. Here we've got him clutching one of the accessories, which looks like a very menacing meat cleaver. I do like this shot. He's almost got these like the two fingers, the V sign there in that hand. I think that's great. And once again, this head sculpt with the blood paint application looking very good. Really, can't fault this. I think this is going to be a vlogger's dream, this one. I think this photography is really kicking off my imagination about how to display this figure. Love this with one quite intense light source off to the left and then nothing on the right. Gives it that shadow, gives it that air of menace, and it really picks out the details as well. Looking absolutely excellent. For me, that looks spot on. Love that shot. Hands behind the back, you put a slight lean at the abdomen there, then raise the head sculpt ever so slightly, and that just looks super creepy as far as I'm concerned. Loving that a lot. On to the next. Slightly different lighting here. Now we can really see those, for the first time properly, those details in the lower part of that tunic section. These need to be spot on with the stitch work and the coloration and so on, and it looks to me like they've nailed it on. I'm going to lean in here. Yeah, you've got that almost satin feel to the shoulder section. You've got the almost lace-like undershirt that roughs out at the where the hands meet the wrists. Overall, yeah, I can't fault this. I really can't. I am super impressed, as you can probably tell. We've got them leaning forward here, both with open palms, those hands. Hopefully we'll get a shot of those hands a little bit later. I'd like to see those close up because I'd like to see what the weathering's like on there, but past experience tells me that there won't be an issue with the Inart hands. Overall, yeah, super impressive. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you an Inart fan? Are you a Pennywise fan? Are you a Welcome to Derry fan? Is this piquing your interest? Another one here, clutching the meat cleaver, and really I could just sit and look at these photos for days. I think this is, for me, this is how companies should put their products forward. They should always be best foot forward, and you know, using professional photographic techniques, and not being afraid to use backdrops and lighting, rather than just giving us a bland shot of the figure and the accessories. But yeah, cracking shot there. Oh, missed one. We've got him with the balloon. Where would Pennywise be without his balloon? I'm going to assume usual story here. The hand with the hole in it, then the wire with string wrapped around it, all meant to give it that rigidity. But the balloon looks excellent too. On to the next. 1.5 inch shadow here, hunched over. This one really, I'm going to say it poses itself, but like this ride, and you can get some incredibly horrific looking poses here, ones that will scare the kids away. But yeah, I am loving that bloody head sculpt as well. Hopefully we'll see. Now there's a closed mouth one here. Let's just zip back to that last one. Is that mouth open? Are we looking at two bloodied head sculpts? I guess we'll have to wait and see. One with the mouth open, one with the mouth shut. I would suspect there's just the two, but maybe that's just because of the lighting here. But yeah, once again, holding that meat cleaver. Not sure whether that's going to be sculpted plastic or metal, but either way, it looks very deadly indeed. From sort of top lid and bottom lid simultaneously here, coming through that sewer grill at the top. We've got this the smiling head sculpt on again. I'd like to see that mouth close up, but you know, to see the details with the teeth, how they've been painted, how they've been sculpted, and obviously the interior of the mouth. We need a wet look in there. I'm sure these have all been done, but it would be nice to have a super close-up shot of that. On to the next. Yeah, that picture of Pennywise that we all have in our head, of the Lear and the balloon, looking nailed on. Yeah, another cracking one there. This is a smiling head sculpt this time. I think this is probably the closest we're going to get to those teeth there. They look really well done, uneven. You've got that brown paint application to give it that ivory look, but slightly stained as well. Eyes looking great, as we mentioned. It's ticking all the boxes as far as I can tell, but what are your thoughts? that one, I did pinch this one for the thumbnail. I thought this was suitably creepy, with the finger held up there. The gloved hands, I think that's about the closest we're going to get to them. I think they look really good. There's texture in there is creasing in there are seams in there. And once again, that blood spatter on the mouth, very, very good, with the sort of trailing off up the cheek area as well. Another one here. Now that, in this particular light, that blood spatter does look very, very gruesome indeed. It was what he's been chowing down on. God only knows, but yeah, it does look super impressive there, especially when it's contrasted against the blood on the ruff. Yeah, looking very, very spooky indeed, liking that a lot. Another one here, that one as well. Now that cracking headshot there. And you'd be almost forgiven for thinking that is rooted hair. I'm leaning in here because I had to double check, but no, that is the sculpted hair, but it's that well done. It could almost pass as rooted in this photograph. Onto the next one. Yeah, just everyone a winner. That's all I can say here. There isn't a bad shot or a bad angle on this. Now something slightly different. We've got him on stage now. As I remember, and don't shoot the messenger if I'm getting this wrong, because as I mentioned at the top there, I never owned the original. I do believe that the original Inart Pennywise came with, the deluxe version anyway, came with this sort of funfair style, carnival style diorama background. Now I don't know whether this is included because it doesn't say anything in the blurb. There are standard and deluxe editions, that's not included either. Maybe this backdrop we're seeing here and these sort of carnival style animals are something that's going to be included with the deluxe version. Who knows? I would like to see that. That would be great, because I think this figure really benefits from that. But yeah, we've got him in a similar pose to this one. It's that dancing pose where he's kicking out his legs and scaring the bejesus out of everybody. Brighter light here so we can see those details, and it all looks present and correct. I can't argue. Another one in front of the curtains and the stage there. Now, have they not put the hand there, or is the hand just? Yeah, I think the hand is there, but it's tucked away under that ruff. And yeah, just simply works. And we're seeing in this bright light as well the level of that sort of dirtying up that they've done on the bottom of the tunic there, and it's just right for me. Unclean all over, a grey hue, no fresh areas on there, all looks dirty and sewer lived. And finally we've got this now. This shot is obviously a shot of the top of the base, but you've also got this piece of, I'm not even going to try to explain what it is, you need to see the TV show, but there are different pieces of this which are scattered around, which hold Pennywise in place, and this is the dagger piece that he can be killed with, which has been passed down through the centuries, and they've included that as well. And maybe this is the material that it was wrapped up in, because it did change hands wrapped up, but it looks very good. I'm going to assume it's sculpted plastic, sort of a black onyx effect as it was in the TV show, with that weird and wonderful those weird and wonderful symbols written on it, and painted in white, sort of a bluey white as well. Nice little inclusion that as well. But if that is the limit of the accessories, I will be surprised. Just maybe a meat cleaver and this. Maybe there's more, maybe they're going to give us more photos, who knows. I know they did that with the T800 recently. They dropped a separate bunch of photos after to cover some of the details they've not covered in the initial shots. But that's pretty much it for this preview anyway, folks. So what are your thoughts? Are you a fan of Welcome to Derry? Are you a fan of Andy and Barbara Muschietti's take on Pennywise? Are you a fan of Stephen King's It? Are you a fan of Bill Skarsgard? Nothing is off menu. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Even if you think this is an unnecessary figure, I'd like to hear from you. Should they have focused on completing another line rather than repeating a figure they've already done, which isn't something that Inart do very often, I've got to say. But yeah, that about wraps it up, folks. So I hope it's been useful for you. I hope you've enjoyed this preview. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, from myself, from Pennywise the Dancing Clown, a massive thank you for watching as always. And until next time on the channel, take care of yourselves and happy collecting.